Welcome everybody out to podcast number 485. We are going to talk about the energy of the team today. Stay with us.
This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome everyone. I hope you're doing well, and I really hope your week has gotten off to a good start. I think today's Monday. Is today Monday? I think today's Monday. Anyway, hope you're having a great Monday. And I'm excited to share this little podcast with you. This podcast topic is really near and dear to my heart. I really believe that energy is the center of almost everything that we do in reference to leadership and leading teams. And I may be wrong about that, but it's still near and dear to my heart. So let me give you a couple of reflections here before I go into, well, wait a minute. Am I doing this in the right order? No, let me do something first. Okay. So real quick, Kate and I got a lot done last week, getting super caught up with a lot of different things. And when we were hanging out in Hawaii, we took a little bit of a vacation. I was able to work and write and do a number of just really cool things out in front of the beach, the ocean waves, and I got a little bit of a rest. And I just really think that being able to recharge and do those things is just a really neat thing. And I'm back here with the family hanging out, back in my groove. Here's my big reflection. How am I doing? I am so excited to be back with good internet. I love my little shed where I have my office. We have the most jamming internet. I never have trouble with it. I was actually thinking about doing a podcast the other day on having a good internet connection because it makes just such a big deal. We take so many different people through online courses, and some people don't have good internet. And I'm telling you what, here's what got me thinking about this. We did a Takt course on Thursday and Friday, and I was a big part of it and was there the entire time because I wanted people to know that if they're paying for a Takt course, that I'm going to be there. And I was making sure to keep time, making sure we're delivering really good quality, the whole nine. But the internet on my end sucked. Like, it was absolutely horrible. And I thought to myself, how many people out there receiving training or being at the back end of meetings in an environment where there isn't really good internet? And I was just thinking to myself, like, please just go ahead and pay that extra money for the high-speed internet wherever you are, job site, work, office, home, wherever it is. You've got to have good internet nowadays. Anyway, so I'm really happy to be back. Happy to be with everybody. I've got kind of a neat week, and then I do a little bit of 2 days of flying around. But for a month, I get to grind and take care of customers and clients, and I'm really happy about that. So things are doing well. Here's some talk from some fans and some podcast listeners. Hi, Jason. Started to listen to your book on superintendents. It's been really good so far. Thanks for all the great pointers. So I really appreciate that. I love feedback. Okay, back to energy. When we take superintendents, I have another thing. We just did 2 rounds of the superintendent boot camp back to back. Brandon and I nailed it, like absolutely nailed it. Remarkable. I mean, Brandon and I were in both sessions, even though we were back to back, we didn't get tired of it. We both got teary-eyed. We were like exhausted, emotional. I mean, life-changing stuff. It was just absolutely a fantastic experience. And so we just nailed those boot camps. Anyway, throughout the camp, we have teams create a team name and a team yell, and they get to help each other out with energy, or else they don't really step up to the plate, right? If we have low energy as a team, that you don't perform, you can't show up, you can't be in state, right? Being in state means you have the focus, physiology, and you're using the right words with the right energy to go perform, like it says, at a peak state. And it got me to thinking about the importance of energy. The teams that are able to increase the energy of the group from that focus, what are they focused on? Physiology. Are they moving? Remember, motion equals emotion, right? And the words they're using, are they using the word try or I will? And that got me to thinking about the need for energy with teams and the time for a leader to show up. And this was also because we were watching the movie Patton, not the whole thing, but clips from the movie Patton in Superintendent Bootcamp, The time for an energy for a leader to show up is when the energy is down. And that leads me into this principle of, we really need to have, or we get to have high energy as leaders to really lead teams. So I've just got a couple of reflections on energy. You know, we were doing something today, I can't remember. Oh, it was a new job site that possibly wanted some Takt training. And it was somebody, I think I offered, hey, we could do two groups back to back. And there was a scheduler on there that knew us. Spencer and I were on the call, and the project director was talking to us and was like, that's too much for anybody. And Julio kind of, I just said his name. Anyway, you don't know his last name. But anyway, Julio giggled. He was the scheduler that used to work with Spencer and me, and he was, he was giggling because, he later then said, yeah, these guys won't run out of energy. They'll be just fine if they do it back to back. And I've had people tell me before, Jason, we pay you for your energy. And I was really thinking about that. Like, energy is key. In the book, The Art of War by Sun Tzu, he talks about the energy of the military. And that, again, is, what is the military focused on? What is the army focused on? What it was the physiology of the army. Did they just eat? Have they exercised? Are they like moving and energetic and advancing forward? Do they feel that momentum, right? And excuse me. And are they using powerful words, or are there cancerous people inside that army? And Sun Tzu knew that you can't be successful against an opponent if you don't have good energy. So this has been on my mind. And I feel like it's a really big compliment for somebody to have told me, Jason, we pay you for your energy, because I just really think that it's quite fantastic. So those are some thoughts. The other thing that came to my mind the other day is that I was out at the sand dunes I'm going to have a lot of these little just random thoughts, but I was out at the sand dunes, and I had my son and one of his friends with me, and we were going up these hills, and one of the bikes did fairly well. Like, I think it was a 400, and then we had a 350, and then we had a 200, and the 200 three-wheeler. No, it was a quad. It was a four-wheeler. Anyway, the 200, no, that was a three-wheeler. Sorry, had a little bit of a difficulty coming up the hill, and I remembered telling the boys, "Hey, if you're going to make it up this hill, you have to rev it up and really get a good run at it to give you momentum up that hill." And I will say to teams, the same thing happens. That leaders must give that project a good rev to get up these really difficult hills. And that means that in our times when we're doing well, we must keep that drive, keep going forward, keep that energy going, and do well. Because when we're up on the hill, that's not the time to go figure out what's going on and really hope that we're going to be okay. It's really time to rev up and head up that hill. So bottom line is, we have to have energy. Leaders must prepare for this. So here's the two quotes that I want to have. Holy cow, somebody is texting me like 17 stinking times. Anyway, leaders are there when morale is down. Leaders need to show up when energy is low. So I'll talk to you about two quick little stories. One, I've told you before, but I'll give you an abbreviated message. There was this one job where, and I think it was down in Texas, they were having a heck of a time. Too many change orders, morale was down, people they were down in the mouth, and the general superintendent came, separated the contract work from the change order work, and gave everybody buttons that says, "We can do it." And at the end of the job, gave them buttons saying, "We did it," and really got the team winning. And I'll show you the pattern here in just a minute. I've also seen this and I'll just go ahead and brag about him. Weston Woolsey works at Oakland Construction as a field operations director. Absolutely fantastic. One time there was a job that he was recovering, and he used this same pattern as well. And so I'm seeing this pattern. On the job where Weston was, brought it back, got it back under control, finished on time, absolutely did a fantastic job. The team loved him. They were joking around and kidding with each other after about 3 days, but only after the pattern. And the pattern was, when you get onto a project, you must stabilize that project. So if the morale's down, if the army's down in the mouth, whatever's happening, the chaos has to go away. The instability has to go away. The bad talking has to go away. The cancerous behavior has to go away. Everything needs to be stabilized, clean, safe, organized, in order, on time. The second thing is breaking people out of their cycles. And sometimes this comes from yelling. Like if you're talking about, armies in the past that, they would have a military leader kind of like Patton. If you watch his biography, just come in and rough everybody up, find people, uh, you know, I think there was anyway, you get my point. Like, and so on a project, there might be some conflict, some yelling. I'm not recommending this for a coach. There might be some getting after the players, right? But you have to break them out of their cycle. So they're down the mouth, and it's like, okay, now let's go. We're getting out of it. Oh, you don't want to go? Don't care. You come with me, or you go home. Whatever you want to do. You have to break people out of their cycle, and then while they're broken out of their cycle, drive them to win with something. Drive them to win with something. Once they've won, then they'll have wins. And I know that sounds stupid. We're like, Jason, what is, yeah, of course, when you win, you've had wins. What I'm saying is the purpose of having wins is then that when somebody wins and they feel like they're succeeding, that's when the energy goes up. That's when their focuses on winning. That's when their physiology turns to where they're putting their shoulders back and their heads are up and they're happy about winning. That's when endorphins, chemicals are released into the body to signify that you're winning. That's when instead of saying, I'll try, you're like, we just won. And you get into state and you start to bring some momentum. And as you get momentum, head the team in the right direction and make sure that you keep that going. Once you have a couple of wins under your belt, give the team a reward, like a break or some kind of, I don't know, team building moment or prize or speech or lunch or something nice for the team to really go do some fun things and feel like, hey, I'm a part of a winning team. This is my identity and I identify with the group of people that I'm with, right? Because that physical interaction, that social group that you're creating after you have those wins and you start to win over and over, and then you reward that team together as a social group, that's when that interaction, the team starts to feed off of each other so that they can continue in their forward momentum. The other thing I would say is be consistent. Yet this construction is a whole lot more like boxing than it is anything else. The player that can stay standing the longest will win. And if you're the leader, I don't care if there's 580 workers out there, your shoulders have to be farther back, your head has to be tilted farther up, your chest has to be puffed out, not in an aggressive, like mean way, but like confident energy. We're going to win. We've got this, consistent day in and day out, to where people get tired of fighting your consistent positive energy. You have to stay strong enough to where people get tired and give up in fighting your consistent positive energy. And then, make sure that when people are winning that you start to praise them. One of the best things you can do, and I learned this from Paul Akers, is to tour people through your project and showcase those wins. Have people give those people phone calls. Have the owner praise them. Deliver a passionate speech in front of a group of people that matter. Send a thank you note back home to their families, right? Record a video of it, whatever the case may be. But that pattern really seems to play out. First, stabilize the project, break people out of their cycles, drive them immediately to win something. Once they have those wins, then make sure that they keep that momentum. They're headed in the right direction to keep having those wins. Reward them in some way to where they have physical interaction, proximity, and energy as a group, and be consistent in your delivery of that passion and that energy, and then make sure that you reward them and keep that flywheel going by constantly providing that motivation and touring people through and letting people observe their success. As soon as somebody feels like they've owned something and they can present it and they can be proud of something, that's when that really continues. So again, stabilize, break people out of their cycle, drive them to win something. Once they have that win, make sure they're in the right direction. They keep winning. Give that team rewards and breaks, which creates proximity, which will allow you to maintain consistency as a group, and then make sure that you're rewarding them by allowing other people to see their success and give them an opportunity to share. Because the current condition right now is when jobs get down in the mouth, they just stay down in the mouth. And I've told you this 5 or 6 times, but one of the things that I was always taught when I was driving cattle as a kid with my parents is if I had that horse going downhill, keep that horse's head up and they won't fall. And I've seen horsemen and women fall, not keeping their head up. And I always kept my horse's head up and we always made it down fine without tripping. And so even if the horse stumbles, you keep their head up, then they know where to go and they don't fall down and topple over. See, that's the thing. Some people think that you pull a horse's head up, it's magic. No, it's not magic. It's that whether a horse stumbles vertically or falls down or rolls over probably doesn't matter to the horse, but it matters to the person on the back. And so if you keep their head up, then they're going to lean towards, let me stumble through this instead of rolling over and falling down. If they roll over and fall down, then you're going to have a 900-pound, 1,200-pound animal crushing you. And so if you let that project team's head get down, pointed down with low energy, then you have the owner, the family, the families, the neighbors, the end users of that building that are going to be crushed by that 1,200-pound animal. We can't have that happen. So make sure that you're always focused on the energy of the team. And remember that leaders are there when morale is down. Leaders show when energy is low. On we go.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.